Welcome to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide. I am Shanel Scott, a healer and a psychic medium who has been sharing my gifts professionally for more than a decade. This is a space where spirituality is simple, grounded, and lived, not performed. Here, we talk about the real inner work, the pauses, the questions, the healing, and the moments that shift everything quietly. This is the real talk for real life, without the fluff, the bypassing, or the pressure to be anything other than yourself. Through honest conversations, guided healing sessions, and soulful reflections, you'll be reminded that you already carry the wisdom you're seeking. Spirituality isn't something you chase. It's something you remember and embody. I'm here with you on this journey we call life, to gently guide you back to yourself, to reclaim your power, and remember your sacred self. From my heart and soul to yours. Hey there, beautiful souls. It is Shanel here, your spiritual tour guide and your host for this beautiful podcast about a phrase that it will change your intuition practice. It is going to up-level it. It is going to teach you how to trust. Now, this phrase is one that is such a foundation for your spiritual practice, for deepening into your intuition. And I'm not going to take credit for it because it wasn't me that came up with it. Do I love this phrase and do I share it often? All the time. This was a phrase that was shared with me by one of my students who I adore. And she got it from somebody else. And I'm sure it's been passed around because it is that good. It is worth sharing. Now, this phrase is one that will teach you how to deepen into your own trust, into listening to what is intuition and knowing the difference between what is not. So here it is, and it's simple. So write it down, put it in your phone, stick it on a sticky note, whatever you need to do to remember this, because it is so important to remember. The mind asks questions. And the soul makes statements, or the soul speaks in statements. Now, this might seem really far too simple. And you might go, that's kind of dumb. But the reality is if you dig into it, it makes so much sense. And you can understand it and feel it in your own body with so much ease. Let's break it down. The mind asks questions. The science behind the mind is that the mind is programmed for safety. It's its primary function. It is going to keep you safe at all costs. And it is going to move into fear, and it is going to look for certainty, where certainty often doesn't exist, before it gives you an answer, which typically is never. It's going to ask you all the questions. Now, I like to think of this as, your mom maybe, or, that friend that's paranoid of everything, and they ask a million questions about where you're going and what you're doing and how are we going to get there. But what if the car breaks down? What if we get in a car accident? What if our tickets don't work? What if there's a power outage when we get to the concert? The million questions that are running through the mind. It is the million questions that don't seem to have an answer, but they all take you in 16 different directions, and often in a direction of doomsday. The brain is looking. It wants so desperately to stay safe. It is just going to go keep on searching until you give it safety. It's going to move into fear. It's going to move into big emotions. And it's going to ask a ton of questions. And it's going to feel like you're moving down a rabbit hole or spiraling or on a merry-go-round because there aren't answers. They're not asking the right questions to get an answer. They're asking the questions that is going to keep you safe. Or so the mind perceives. It's going to sound loud. Maybe even overwhelming. It's going to be frantic. It's going to be big. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be fear-driven. It might even feel like panic or anxiety because the mind is just taken hold and it is running with it. And we've all been there. And it's not productive. It doesn't feel good. And it's just quite exhausting. Now, the soul, on the other hand, speaks softly. It doesn't need big noise or lots of questions. The soul makes statements. The soul moves from neutrality, from trust, and from knowing. The soul holds our innermost wisdom, our ancient wisdom. The soul doesn't need to make big, grand gestures. It's simple. It's clear. It's often quiet, so we miss it. It comes from a place of truth and knowing. There is no need to ask questions. There's just simply something presented. It is a statement. And it's just so much easier. It has no need to judge or defend or even argue with us. It just simply states the truth. And that is it. And we miss this because for whatever reason, we just think things should be big. Now, I could go on a whole side tangent here about life purpose because it's the same thing. What most people perceive life purpose should be about is more about what the mind is about instead of what the soul is about. We expect fireworks. We expect grandness. We expect dramatics. We think it should be big and powerful and all-knowing. Well, it is all-knowing, but it speaks quietly. It is the whisper in the woods. It is the soft knowing that guides you in the right direction. It is that simple sentence that drives it home. It isn't grand. It isn't intense or loud or big. It's just simple and quiet. For whatever reason, we think big is better. But it is in the stillness and in the quiet that we have the biggest aha moments often. So of course we miss it. We're not programmed for stillness and quiet. Society has programmed us for fear, for busyness, for constantly moving, for questioning, for moving about. It enjoys the chaos. But it's in the stillness of the soul that we find the truth. Now, does the soul ever ask questions? It's a really good question to ask. Yes, it will. But the questions that come from the soul are so different. They're not driven by fear. They're driven by curiosity. What if it could be easier? What if you could hold more power? These questions come from a soulful center, and they are there to invoke curiosity and growth and learning. The questions don't come from a place of fear or judgment. They come from a place of empowerment. Now, this is a simple spiritual practice, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. I am all about the simplicity. The easier something is, the more apt we are to integrate it into our day-to-day. And this one is so easy. When you're connected to your intuition, You'll notice that simple wisdom that shows up. It shows up in a statement. It's quiet. Versus when the mind is moving in overtime, because it's always in overdrive, it's going to feel like the wind. It's going to feel like a spiral. It's going to feel like it's constantly asking questions and never getting an answer. It's easy to feel the difference between the two. It's not always easy to step out of the mind and drop back into the body to find the intuition. But the magic here is this is where healing actually begins. The first step in healing is awareness. And when we are in our body, listening to our intuition, we are in a state of awareness, in a state of presence, in a state of being. When we are circling the questions in our mind, we are disconnected. It's easier to hear the statements of the soul when we can find quiet in the body. When we move into that healing frequency, into a calm nervous system, we are open to receive. This practice, this statement, is one that will take you to a place of trust. Because you'll stop questioning, knowing that it's the brain and it's just taking you on a wild goose chase. And you'll start settling and listening, because in presence you hear the answers, the simple statements from the universe, from your intuition, your soul alignment, your soul blueprint, or you could call it your Akashic records. It's all accessible to you in this place of stillness, in this place of quiet, in this place of presence. This phrase will change your intuition, your spiritual practice, and it will teach you to trust, because you will be able to see the difference of where the information is coming from. And let's be honest, when we're working with intuition and energy, it is always important, imperative, I would say, to know what energy you're tapping into, where you're getting your information from. So try this. Notice it in the day-to-day. Maybe choose an hour window where you're just going to be present with it and really notice. Notice the questions the mind is asking and where they are coming from a place of fear and keeping you safe. Let the soul make statements. Hear the quiet whispers and the truth. That energy invokes trust because it feels so good. Stop looking for the fireworks and the dramatics, because that's not where you're going to find it. Not in your intuition, not in your spiritual practices, not in your life purposes, not even in love. And I know you're going to judge me for that one, aren't you? But love feels like home. It's calm. It's peaceful. It's nurturing. It's caring. It isn't fireworks. Stop looking for them. If you want fireworks, go to Disney. Enjoy them for the magic that they are. But know in your spiritual practices, it's about the pixie dust. The simple sprinkling of pixie dust. From my heart and soul to yours, use this one. Trust yourself. And everybody needs a little faith, trust, and pixie dust. Thank you for spending this time with me. If something from this episode resonated, let it settle. Awareness will always show you what you need to know. If you feel called to go deeper, you're invited to explore the ways we can work together through private sessions, group experiences, and guided practices, all shared at my website, fromtheheartandsoul.com. And if this episode supported you, subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing it with someone on a similar path helps this work reach those who may need it. Trust what stayed with you. Trust what stirred. Those are the directions meant for you. Until the next time, keep listening inward and walking your path in your own way. From my heart and soul to yours.